Okay, this little section is really for the benefit of the people coming from a Windows environment because there's a few things that Mac does very differently. And if you don't understand what is different, this will drive you absolutely bonkers. It has to do with starting and stopping applications. So first of all, let me show you how you can start an application. The usual way how to get an application started is if you happen to have a copy of it sitting down here in the dock, then you simply click on it, like what I did with the calendar. However, let me go and launch something else. So let me go and find another program. I'm going to look for Safari, which is the usual web browser that we have on a Mac. And what I do is I click on this program here called Launchpad. Launchpad is kind of the equivalent of the start menu from Windows. It is going to show you all of the applications. If they don't fit on a page, you can scroll to the next page. So let me get back here, I saw Safari right here. So let me start up Safari. And at this point, well, now I can just use it for going off and doing my various searches. I want to show something that usually what will happen the first time that a person from Windows tries to use Mac is they will look at this and say, okay, I've had enough using Safari, so let me close up this button right here by clicking on this red X. Because in the world of Windows, this is how you close programs. Well, unfortunately, when you click on this red X in the world of Mac, it actually doesn't close the application. So how can I tell? Well, take a look down here at the dock. The dock not only gives you a list of programs, notice that there's a little subtle black dot underneath the programs. And notice that there's a black dot underneath the program called Safari. Well, what this means is that Safari is actually running right now. By closing up the window, you haven't actually closed Safari, you just closed the Safari window. It's still there and it's still taking up memory. And then, of course, what will happen next is a Windows user will say, whoa, this is terrible. Let me click on this one. Well, that doesn't get rid of it either because what that does is that minimizes it to the dock. Okay, and that's not useful. And sometimes you might even say, well, what about this one right here? And well, what this does is this puts it completely into full screen mode, and that's probably not what you want either. If you're trying to get rid of an application on a Mac, this is the normal way how you have to get rid of it. You go to the menu, which is always found along the top. You pull down the file menu, you pull down the name of the program, and you find the option right here called Quit Safari. Every one of the Mac applications will always have one of these items. For example, here's the calendar. Let me get it back over onto the screen. Here we go, and this has a menu entry called calendar, and this option right here is to quit. Okay, so that will end up looking after getting rid of, and you can tell it's gone because the dot is gone. Well, let's do it once again and just close the window and see what happens. Okay, and again, you can see that it didn't go away because we still have a dot, so therefore it's still in memory. It has to be gotten rid of by quitting the calendar. It can be difficult sometimes to track down this Launchpad. Because guess what? One of the options is to remove from dock. Now, I'm not going to do that because I like to leave my Launchpad right here. But if you can't find the Launchpad, here's what you have as your options. You've got at least a couple of things. Okay, the easy one is to come up here, find this search icon, and that brings up something called Spotlight Search. The name of the program's called Launchpad. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. The F4 key I use quite often for this, and there's probably some funny mouse gestures as well.